So module 8, lash application. So we're at the point now where the false lash is finally going on to the natural lash. So there's a procedure for it, like there is for everything else. So the application of the eyelash is really important. So we need to get the lash on at the correct angle. It needs to face where you want it to face. It needs to be attached fully. A large surface area of the false lash needs to be attached to the natural lash. You need a tiny, tiny gap at the root. So you don't really want to be able to see a big gap so it looks like regrowth, but you don't want it to be touching the skin. So you need to get the balance right. It's a fine balance, but you need to get it as close as you can without it touching. So we need a tiny gap at the root. So really, 1 millimetre is a bit too far. We need to get it less than 0.5 millimetres away from the lash line. So it needs to be almost touching, basically. You don't want it to touch the skin. All bottom lashes need to be covered up with the micropore tape or the pad, which is actually way before this section. So after you've applied the lash to the natural lash, you need to hold your isolation for a couple of seconds and then gently let go, just so that you don't disturb that new lash that you've applied. The next lash is to be applied away from the one that you've just done. So don't apply them right next to each other. Move around. You need to, even though the glue dries really quickly, so 1 second, it doesn't fully dry, so you need to move around so you don't disturb the lash that you've just applied. Just give the glue a bit of a chance to dry. Lash applications, all natural lashes need to be worked on. You need to apply a lash extension to every single natural lash. That's why it takes an hour and a half. With the application, a common mistake that I see as well is people they've got the face and the head too far away from the client and they can't see properly where the lash is going. You need to get your head right up close so that you can see exactly where the false lash is going. So you need to see how far back it's going. You need to see that it's facing the right direction. You need to see that you've got this tiny gap at the root, and you can't do it if you're a mile away. If you are, you need to be really close. And I do see people regularly that are just too far away. So get your head right in so you can see exactly what's going on. And there's a tutorial as well. So we go over this in more detail and you can see what happens. And then there's a 4-step process which we'll cover all in one go on the next section.